this glass is completely recyclable. Somebody can get hurt on this. All right, so I'm out here at Strategic Materials with Sal. How you doing there, Sal?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Well, thanks for having us out here today. So tell us, where do you get all the glass from?
Well, this glass basically comes in from recycling centers from around Redemption Centers, buyback centers from around Southern California. They bring the glass into us. They come over our scales. You can see here we have trucks that come in daily. They come in over our scales. We weigh them in, tear them out, offload, and then from there we process the glass.
Okay, now we'll start back at the recycling center. So, you know, people like myself, I can go and drop off all my glass bottles.
Yes.
And what about like curbside? Do you have is any of this from curbside?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do have some curbside. We have about 6,500 tons a month that comes in from curbside programs.
That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. It's quite a bit.
Wow. Now, and when you say comes in, what happens?
They go to a transfer station. They clean out whatever they're going to pull out of it, fiber, for instance, aluminum, whatever they can, the bigger stuff. Yeah. The glass, should be a high percentage glass, comes to us. We process it here. We pull out as much glass as we can. We take out contaminants, for instance, metals, non-ferrous metals, ceramic, visionware, things of that nature. Things that, or materials that can't really be sent in the final material to our customers.
Okay. Now, glass is, as I understand it, 100% recyclable.
Correct.
Is that why it's important to take out all these other materials?
Well, yes, it's important to take out the other materials because for instance, container manufacturers, in their furnaces, the ceramic melts at has a higher melting point than glass does, or even virgin glass materials. So basically what happens if we don't take those contaminants out, they come out in the molten glass, and they come out as an imperfection, or they can wreak havoc on their processing.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact.
Did you know that one glass bottle can power a light bulb for 4 hours? 4 hours! And did you know that glass is recyclable over and 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 just over and keep well, okay, all right, I'm done with this segment. Stop throwing bottles at me! I'm curious, do you know what glass is made of?
Probably rubber.
Sand. It's made out of sand.
Little shiny things.
Paper.
And?
Wood.
And?
Blank. All of the above.
Shiny material or rocks?
Say some type of rock or something, maybe?
All the cans and stuff that they use. Sand.
And?
Electrons.
And?
Fire.
Well, basically we have sand, soda ash, limestone, and recycled glass color.
All right, now how many different colors of glass do you recycle here?
Well, basically we have the amber glass, we have flint or clear glass.
What is flint?
A rock used to help make fires and like out in the wilderness and stuff. Jelly.
Piece of wood.
Something that you get out of the dryer.
Something that you use in the dishwasher.
Anything that's clear is considered flint glass.
I'm sorry, so the clear was like now this is a green. Why is this a green bottle?
This is because of the label. Underneath it's clear.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna take the label off.
Yes, our processing will actually take the label off.
All right. Sorry if I broke that, man.
No problem.
You get that a lot, right? All right, so flint is clear. Brown is amber. It looks brown.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the green is?
Green is green.
I like that. Yeah, I'm green. All right, and then what other colors?
Then we have the mix, which is the curbside mix.
How is glass recycled?
I'm pretty sure they melt it.
Melting it down, I guess, and that's all I can think of right now.
It's crushed up and then I guess heated down to make other things.
Somebody just has a ball and they just break it on the ground,
then we can just pick that up to help the environment.
It's taken to a recycling bin where all the cans and everything goes.
Do they burn it again to make it form of a glob, like so that they can reform it into something else?
Right, now, I know at home I have a recycle bin, and I put glass, plastics, paper, I put all that in one bin, but there's still a lot of contaminants in here, huh?
That's why we run it through a totally separate process to make sure that we get the contaminants out from the fiber to the fine dust, plastics. There's still going to be a certain level of it.
Okay. Now, are you able to get enough out to bring it back down to just glass?
Yes, we are. We're able to do that.
So he's done. Now, will you put this in a similar, hopper?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it will go in this hopper here. This processor here is dedicated to the mix, to processing mix, first side mix.
So what's coming out right here? If I move over here, what's coming out?
This is basically trash, or waste, what we call waste. Woo! We do get some glass in here, very little, some of it that makes it through, but for the most part it's plastic.
Paper, plastics,
yes.
plastic bags.
Correct.
We're not supposed to be throwing those in our recycle bin, are we?
That's correct.
Yeah, I know. I learned that recently. Wow, all right. So now once the glass is out of there, then it's going inside with everything else, right?
Correct. It'll go inside. Actually, it'll go over a series of screens and vacuums, and also a series of machines that actually will take contaminants out. You'll see contaminants, take it out, and also color sorters, which will sort out the glass.
Okay, now before it gets to the crusher, it's going through all these belts, right?
Yes, it is.
So these belts are pulling off the papers you mentioned, pulling out all the metals. What else?
Actually, we'll pull out metals, non-ferrous, aluminum, plastic, bottle caps. All of it's recycled. The bottle caps are recycled.
Oh.
The plastic caps, those really we don't have a home for, but the bottle caps we do. The tin gets recycled, and it goes actually through the crusher first to break it up, and actually loosens up the labels, which makes it easier to extract the labels, paper, plastic from the bottle.
What is cullet?
Something you'd probably find under the couch.
A rock.
A glass drink with milk.
Something that you use for the dryer.
Like a rock. Could be a type of rock.
Sounds like something you find in your intestines, but I'm not sure.
Something related to coal.
Something from the bottles.
So from the time it's dumped here in the yard to where the skip loader picks it up, how long after the skip loader picks it up in the hopper do we get cullet?
I would say probably within the first 2 minutes. Wow, you'll get cullet. And we usually run anywhere from, the processors have the ability to run anywhere from 18 to 35 tons an hour.
All right, now what do you do with the cullet?
Well, the cullet, once it's in this form here, it's been inspected already. We have a quality assurance program where we check it every 15 minutes. We get a count on any type of contaminants that we find. And then based on our count, if we feel comfortable with the count, and for instance, if we don't find anything, it's great. We find one or two, then we look at it and say, okay, over what time period? And then we release the product. This product here now is released, ready to go to the container manufacturer.
All right.
And ready to be introduced into their furnace.
Okay. I know. I see that guy over there's got a rake. What's he doing with that rake?
Well, he's moving the glass around because, as you can see, the glass is coming out pretty fast.
Yeah.
He's moving the glass around to spread it out to make sure he gets a better view of what's coming off the belt.
Okay. I see. Whoa. I thought whoa, the whole pile's moving under him now.
Yes.
That was fun. Can I do that? Yeah, all right. Hey, cool. He gave me thumbs up. Hey, what's up? Whoa.
The hard part's getting up there.
Wow. I got this. I got it. Do I run? How's it going? Trying to move the pile?
And how many times can you recycle glass?
A lot? Like, is it like about 5 or something?
Many times?
Twice.
You know what? I've never thought about it, but I'm going to say maybe 5 or 6 times.
As many times as you need to.
60 times.
As many times as you want.
2 times.
Did you know that glass is recyclable over and over and over and over and over? Oh, I'm getting good at this. Over again. Come on, well, you guys, come on. You're slowing me up here. Oh, okay. Not two at a time. Over and over, and you get the picture, right? So be sure to recycle your glass bottles. Don't try to hurt me with them. Just recycle these bottles, will you? Come. All right, so we followed all of the cullet over here to a plant called OI. And I'm here with the plant manager, Pete Hinton. How you doing?
Hey, Joel, nice to meet you. Welcome to Owens, Illinois, Los Angeles plant. I'd like to give you some requisite safety gear.
Gearing me up already?
Absolutely.
All right.
There's a hat, and here's some safety glasses.
More glasses. I'm on it. All right.
Hearing protections in the pockets and an official visitor's jacket.
Wow.
Send you off.
Well, I'm not used to being geared up like this right when I get to a place there.
Well, welcome. We're very glad to have you here.
All right. Well, cool. So tell us a little bit about OI.
Well, Owens, Illinois is the world's premier and largest producer of beverage and food glassware bottles. And here in the Vernon facility here in Los Angeles, we make quite a few for lots of different customers.
What can be made out of recycled glass?
Cans, shiny stuff, I guess.
Different, like art, I guess, like park benches and just things that people to use around the house and stuff.
I've seen funny kinds of jewelry, all kinds of things, I guess.
Paper. More glass products.
Glass statues.
So now we're going to take all of this recycled glass and we're going to turn it into new bottles and new beverage containers.
That's correct. About 50% of our batch mixture to make glass comes from cullet. So we make flint and we have amber, and the remainder is sand, soda ash, and limestone, and there it is.
50%. So without recycled bottles, you would have to use more resources.
Absolutely. And in fact, actually, we use less energy to convert cullet, recycled glass, to new glass.
So that sounds like to me is we need to be recycling more bottles, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so now what's the process that this will go through?
Well, from here, 50% of the batch mix, as I said, will be the cullet. It will go to the batch house, and from the batch house into our furnace, from the furnace into the actual machine that will form the glass bottles, through our cold end process and inspection out to the warehouse area.
So we have our work cut out for us here, huh?
Yeah, you have a long walk, and Mark Ed Green, our plant superintendent, will be happy to take you through the process and show you some really neat and interesting stuff.
All right, so the cullet's in the cullet crusher, and I'm here with Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Good, Joel. How you doing?
Hey, well, thanks for meeting me up here. So it's in the cullet crusher. What's the next step?
Next step is the cullet gets mixed with soda ash, limestone, and silica sand, and sent over here on a conveying system, is introduced into the furnace where it starts its melting process and turns into a liquid, goes from a solid to a liquid, and this is where it all begins right here.
All right, so a recycled bottle, the cullet, is then added with a few more ingredients to make another bottle?
50%.
50% cullet and then 50% new ingredients?
Right.
Sand, ash, and
limestone.
Limestone. Alrighty. All right, so once it's mixed together, that's when you say it comes over here and goes in the furnace.
Correct.
This furnace is warm. I mean, my arm's pretty hot right here. How hot is it?
It's super hot. It's 2,700 degrees.
Woo! That's really hot. When you think about normally on a hot day, it's 105 degrees outside. 2,700 degrees?
2,700.
Wow. So when it comes in here, it's solid.
It's solid.
All right. And when does it become liquid?
Probably halfway through the furnace process. You have a very long furnace right here, and by the time it gets to the other end, it becomes to a liquid.
Okay. So I see you have big gloves in your hands. We're not going in the furnace, right?
Absolutely not. We're not going in the furnace, but we're going to take a look inside.
Wow. Now, what are you holding up right there?
This is a dark lens to protect your eyes. So you can look inside, you can see what's going on inside the furnace. You can see the batch piles in there. If you get up here a little bit closer, you can actually see the raw material melting, and you can see it bubbling, almost like a volcano in there, and then you can see the fire coming out from the side of the furnace melting the glass.
It's incredible because it is hard for me to look that way. It must be okay to look. Can I see that?
Sure.
All right, so it's dark. Can't really see anything through it. Oh, yeah. Okay, that cuts down the glare. I can get in here?
Yes.
Right. Oh, yeah. Put gloves on because it's really, really hot right there. All right, there we go. Wow. I'm getting a sunburn standing here. Oh, okay, so I see what looks like piles of glass or piles of sand. And
Correct.
now, is that a flame that's coming out?
That is a very big flame.
So all the yellow that I see are just flames shooting across.
Oxygen.
Oxygen, huh?
Oxygen flame.
Oh my goodness. Big piles in there. Wow, you want to see? Why don't you come up here and see? So Mark, how long will it take for the glass to go through the furnace?
It'll take about a 36-hour turnover from when it starts right here, introduced into the furnace, till it's melted, till it gets out to make a bottle.
Wow, 36 hours.
36 hours turnover time.
Oh my goodness. All right, now how long is this furnace?
It's really long.
I love the tech term, really long. All right. All right, and we're going to follow it to the other end, huh?
Yes.
All right, so let's go follow it.
Okay.
All right, Mark, how does the glass get from one side of the furnace to the other side?
Well, Joel, basically it runs. You have your batches introduced on this end of the furnace back here, and you have the weight behind it that pushes the other glass on a slightly decline, and it pushes the glass out through the throat, and then it goes into a channel called the refiner.
All right. So the solid is on this side, and as it's being melted, it's kind of oozing down?
Correct.
Oh, all right. And why do we have these fans behind us?
These fans are right here to keep the side of the furnace cool. You get hot spots in the furnace. You just put them up there for extra cooling.
All right, so if that fan wasn't here, we wouldn't be able to stand here, would we?
It'd be pretty warm here.
Because I feel a difference in elevation. Like if I go down, it's not as hot. But if I'm up here like at your height, it's hot.
It's warm.
It's warm. It's hot. Forget the warm stuff. All right, so we're going to follow down the other end, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, cool. So, Mark, it's at the end of the really long furnace, and it's all liquefied now, right?
That is correct.
All right, so now, where is it going at this point?
When it gets to the end of the furnace right there, it goes through a small channel called the throat. Then it branches off into a gradual cool-down place called the refiner. Then it goes into a forehearth and is formed into a gob.
Now this, the throat where it's channeling it off, I see a lot of flames coming out of this, at the top of this thing right here. What is this, cooling it?
Well, it's a controlled heat removal process from the beginning. So if it starts off at 2,700 degrees before it gets into a gob, it cools down to about 2,100 degrees.
Wait, before it gets to a gob, you said?
Yes.
What is a gob?
Like something like a glob of glue.
Something on Willy Wonka, the everlasting gobstopper. I don't know.
Something gathered together.
Something you drink out of?
Piece of rubber.
Big blob of peanut butter.
A gob is a gob of glass that's at a specified weight that'll be made into a bottle.
It's like a big old blob of something, right?
Correct.
I got gobs of glass.
Exactly.
That's my tech terms on it. Now I'm seeing these things come out, and it looks like a roller coaster. Each one's going down a roller coaster. What's happening?
So what's happening there, the glass is coming out of the orifice ring, and there's a set of shears, just like we'd use shears for something else to cut. And
Scissors, big
scissors,
yeah.
And they're cutting the glass off into gobs, and gobs load down through the gob distributor, down through the funnels, down through the gob distributor, and is taken to each designated section of the machine, then it's pressed into a bottle.
Wow, okay. So that's really hot right there, right?
It's extremely hot.
Extremely hot. You can't touch it at all.
No, you can't.
All right, so now and how fast from that point till it becomes a bottle?
Less than 5 seconds.
Really? Yeah, they're moving quick.
Very quick.
Wow, all right, so then it'll go into a glass mold, basically.
Yes.
All right, now this glass, well, now it's a bottle. And how many bottles is it making an hour, a day? How many bottles are you making?
We make around 3 million bottles a day.
Wow, and what different colors?
We make flint and amber.
Flint?
Flint, which is clear, and amber is the darker glass.
Obviously, there's a lot of inspections along the way. I mean, why were we inspecting those bottles right off the line? It was when they were really hot.
Well, a lot of times you look for visual defects or glass distribution.
All right. Now we do the same thing right here?
Right here, there's dimensional checks the LQCs do in the cold end down here. And then they go through these machines here. They're called F2 machines. And there's numerous defects that are inherent in the glass process that will be selected out through all these machines to ensure that a customer gets a quality product.
So what, now obviously I see a couple that are hanging on right here. Are these, can I touch them now?
Sure, you can touch them, they're cold.
Cold? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can touch them. Now what will you look at, right here?
Well, what they'll do, they'll check all the dimensions for the thread dimension, the bead dimension, for a leaner, for the bearing surface thickness, for out around, splits, checks, any visual imperfections on the glass whatsoever.
All right. So if you determine that this isn't good, what will you do with it?
We'll go back in the cullet and get 100% recycled.
So I throw it in the cullet?
Yeah.
Woo! All right. I don't know if there was actually anything wrong with that, but that was fun nonetheless. All right. So this machine is going to do all these checks that you just described.
Correct.
The neck and everything. And what will they do? How will they get rid of a bottle?
They'll have a reject.
Let me see. Oh, wow.
You can see this is kind of a complex system right here. A lot of electronics in here, a lot of lights. What it looks for is shadows. And when a bottle's bad, it'll light up on that Christmas tree over there. There's a Rotac arm on there. We'll reject it back into the color belt.
Wow. So it's able to check everything.
Everything.
Quick.
Quick.
Wow. That's a lot of bottles.
A lot of bottles.
And you have how many of these checks?
5 loops.
5 loops. So each bottle will go through a loop?
Yeah. Every bottle that's coming off that layer will be 100% inspected.
My goodness. So we saw the bottle as it started, the glass bottle as it started. We recycled it, we shredded it, we broke it up, and then you rebuilt the bottle, and then we're done.
That's basically it. We started off in the beginning process when it was a solid form with 50% cullet in the raw materials. It was heated up to 2,700 degrees. The glass was gradually cooled off throughout the entire process. It was made into gobs. It was loaded in the machine. It was pressed into a glass bottle. It was loaded into the layer for gradual heat removal to take the stress out of the bottle, the annealing process, and it was went through the selecting department for quality inspection. Each bottle was individually inspected for quality defects that's inherent to our process. The ware was transferred on all the conveyor belts across the magic tunnel into the load building area, and here we are.
And here, whew, I don't know about you, man, but I'm tired after all that.
Quite a long ways around this plant.
And then this will be 100% recycled.
100%.
All you have to do is take this bottle and recycle it to start the whole process all over.
Exactly.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact.
Did you know that the modern glass bottle will take up to 4,000 years to decompose? 4,000 years! It's even longer if it's in a landfill. I want to thank everyone out here at OI in Strategic Materials for teaching us how they can recycle glass 100%. And I especially want to thank you, Bill, for sending us on today's Curiosity Quest. Now remember, this is our planet, and of course, it's our responsibility to take care of it. So I'm curious, have you gone green? I'm Joel Green. I'll see you next time.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.